All right, y'all, how you guys feeling that? All right. Now, by show of hands, even though I can't even see you guys, who here knows what spoken word poetry is? Raise your hand. All right. So spoken word poetry, for those of you who do not know, I want you to imagine hip-hop and rap music, but taking the beat away so you're listening to the lyrics and the message of the artist. Is that cool? All right. Now, is it cool if I drop a little spoken word poem for you guys right now? That's cool? All right. They say that you should never judge a book by its cover. But people ever easily judge you by your clothes and skin color. See, people don't bother to look further under the skin, the flesh, and facial expression. They'd rather stereotype you by the way that you dress, and they'd rather not bother to think for a second that you might be stressing, that you grew up a mess and had a life full of tension. See, stereotyping has become more of a fashion and evolved into genocide when put into action. And as our actions turn to reactions, we ruin our children who have minds full of passion. And so I'd like to share a story about a kid who grew up kind of screwed up and regretted all he did. And I hope that by the end you won't be as quick to judge, that you'll drop a stereotype or won't hold a grudge. So imagine a child that's 6 years old who was constantly bullied. Even his parents would scold him, so thin from malnutrition, no food in his belly and no food in his kitchen. But that's to be expected in the suburbs of T.O., where the streets run by gangs and low-life zeros. And as time went on, he saw the opportunities. The thugs were his fam, and the gang was true unity. And even when he moved, that wouldn't change his cruel middle school. He never thought to be strange. He was a cage, bottled rage, a maze full of madness. Pain was his address, with mail from sadness. Growing up, he started dealing it still in a 12-year-old mind that was turned into a villain. He was in love with the block and in love with the chillin'. He was hurt inside, but no one knew how he was feeling. He got hurt and hurt cats. He talked bad, he talked back, and at times, he couldn't leave his house without a weapon. He carried a switchblade everywhere for protection and reflection. He got bullied and jumped by his best friends. Flip philosophy, the means don't justify the ends. His young mind was now set for revenge. In the moment that his thug life had peaked and deceased was the same moment he was weak in custody of police. See, it was March 2009. Assault was the charge. This wasn't the first time. He knew this life would be hard. After this, he knew his record would never be gone. Worst of all, they cuffed him right in front of his mom. They threw him in the back as his mother's eyes filled with tears. The boy, almost 15, had a mind full of fears. They took him to Division 12. He spent the night behind bars and crushed his fantasy of having money and fast cars. It wasn't until he got to chill from the cold cell block that he realized the consequences of stealing solid rock. He did two things that night. He cried and he thought. He thought of those unfortunate who had even less, and how he himself had to be blessed. So he vowed, with his head bowed, facing his chest, that he would try his hardest and chase success to give respect back to those who gave him the best. And as his team entered a period of betterment, his effort towards positive change became evident. He started giving respect to nerds with the glasses. He stopped skipping and got above 80 in all of his classes and passes his now realistic goals. He could use some time management, but now his heart isn't cold. He's the kind of person who feeds love to the total population who wants nothing more than a society with a proper education, and started poetry illustrating his dedication. Now, 4 years later, that youth at 19 would speak about his past and material dreams, the gangster schemes, thugs, goons, and crack fiends, the lust and greed to get the grain, and fighting past the point in which one would bleed. His past experiences seemed to motivate and help him concentrate to become better. He now works at the community center to make his cheddar. He'd attend conferences to learn and sharpen his mind. He talked to at-risk youth about the man he left behind and preached the fact that his life was now at its prime. And the youth could help too by spitting a rhyme, or even by simply making better use of their time. He was a social leader / rap diva, either making a change or spitting lyrical fire to help others in this situation and to inspire a young kid. Yeah, he might rock some gangster attire, but he tried to watch his actions and not be a liar. And I know you'd expect this kid to be a criminal, but before you judge someone, don't be as cynical. Because you see, the picture I painted just couldn't be for the child in that story. That child is me. Thank you. Real quick, if I may, for every dancer that came up on the stage today, they are sharing their stories with you. When they're up here, they're showing every scar, every inch of their body while they're doing their art. And for me, that's exactly what spoken word poetry is. So not just doing your art, not just like showing what you do, but like showing your story and sharing everything about you. So love to everybody that did their thing, and love to you guys for listening and watching what they're doing. So thank you so much, guys. Peace and love from Unity.